Welcome guys to another Minecraft video. It is Snowy Steve. I don't think my skin is compatible in an older version of Minecraft. It's been a while since I've seen this original boy. He has a very wide mouth. Why are we seeing Steve? Why are the glass panes back to the way they were before smooth? Well, that is because we are in 1.3. The purpose of this is so we can start a new series, The Evolution of Minecraft, through the updates. We're going to go and hit multiple updates, playing through them. This one we're going to make it to the end, but we're going to play through them to a certain point where I deem that we have exhausted what the update consists of, and then we'll kind of move on, update again. I'll figure out how to port this world properly, but add all of the other updates, and we're going to just slowly make it through and hit different updates that I find interesting, and to see how Minecraft now has changed and how it is what it is. Alright, so I guess to start with, we're going to kind of look at the differences that we have thus far. The easiest ones to spy are in fact the glass panes, which have the very old texture, which I am privy to. I prefer them over the smoother ones, but that is complete preference. I think it's nostalgia that keeps me in the balance or in the unbalance. The other is the stairs with the dark creasing. It's very odd. And in here we have the spruce and oak woods, which have the same center oak coloring. Kind of odd. Another one to look at is... No, that wasn't it. Is the textures of the pumpkins. They're just straight jack-o'-lanterns. Well, pumpkin. Can they become jack-o'-lantern? Oh, they can. So yeah, they come straight jack-o'-lanterns, and then sugarcane is a much lighter color. And to demonstrate the rest of these differences, we're gonna transport these guys, painfully I might add, over here to our new farmhouse, which is not built yet. This is where we're going to talk and figure out how this series is going to go. I'm going to talk about the updates that we've missed, so to speak, and then we'll show off the building techniques that have changed. Here we are at the barn location, or where we are erecting it at least. So I was kind of incorrect about the building mechanic kind of focus. It's not multiple ones, it's only one. And it has to do with logs. Apparently in 1.3, and I don't know how long, it depended on what plane you were standing at. So if you were above the block where you wanted to place it, it would be vertical, so upright. And as you'll see here, if you're on the same plane or above, it seems to lay out. So I'm not 100% sure if when it's one above you, if it's gonna go upright, but there. Very odd. Cool mechanic. Could be useful in some senses, could be very detrimental in others. I think it could have been fine instead of having to place a block and get it horizontal. But as you can see, it's very finicky when you're not used to it. Now into the updates. So the main three, well, the only three, would be 1.0, the official release in 2011, 1.1, which was a smoothing out of the original base game, and then the first update to add once in the base game, 1.2, the biomes update. So in 1.0, we have the finalization of Minecraft, and that would have to do with adding more purpose than just building, and that would be the end dragon. So with that, they added brewing, enchantments, the end, nether fortresses, mushroom island biomes, hardcore mode, and breeding, and a couple other things, which would be the blocks that go with a lot of that stuff. So, seeing that they were focused on end game instead of just building, you obviously have the end with all of the items you need to get there. So, you needed the end portal, which generates in Stronghold. You needed the blaze rods to make into blaze powder, to meld with the eye of Ender. So yeah, just interesting. That's where we kind of got all of that. And then in 1.1, it was a smoothing out of the game, and it did add some different things on it. So the biggest thing it really changed was brewing time changed from 30 to 20 seconds. 10-second difference. I mean, helps. It narrowed enchanting levels, apparently. It also added loot in villages, making it more worthwhile to go. And then it smoothed out a few other things. But those are kind of like the main ones that I could see as kind of like focus points. And then you had 1.2, the biomes update. So this actually added the jungle biomes. Really neat. It also did add abandoned mine shafts and desert wells. It added a new height limit. Doesn't say really why, but it added a new height limit. Cool. And apparently zombie sieges, which I'm assuming would have been the original raids. Blocks and items, it added bottle enchanting, redstone lamp, fire charge, and chiseled stone bricks. Which means, if I read closer, it probably added... Nope. I'm wrong. Oh well, that's fine. It also added 2 new mobs. The Iron Golem, which praise them for it, because that is such a good iron farm. And then Ocelots, which were the original cats, which you could tame. And they scared off creepers. So that's really neat. So that was kind of like the biggest one because you added the jungle biomes. So that's kind of where we're at with the updates. Well, I hope that was informative. And it is unfortunate because this barn is not finished as of yet. And this is post-recording, which is why I'm voicing over this. So I got to the point where I knew this was going to take too long. I didn't have enough materials at that point. So we're headed down to the mines. 1, to gain material, and 2, to focus on obtaining items that we need for making it further into the gameplay, especially for 1.3, because of just the updates. We'll talk about that in the time lapses as we do digs. I think I explain it, so let's go down to the mines. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will have this finished by the next time we have a new video. Here we are starting in the mine. Skipped it because too long of a video already. I don't want you guys to get bored, and it is a lot of talking this time around. Next episode, I do promise to have more physical content than just time lapses. But I mean, time lapses are fun. Now, before you see too much, we already know we get 6 iron. Guess down below how much we get for our first run. Alright, now it's time to get to the nitty gritty of why I'm doing this series. And I could make the claim that it's because it'd be really cool to look back at Minecraft and understand it, which a good portion is that, but it is actually a lot more personal to me than that. Ultimately, it boils down to the fact that I have never properly allowed myself to grow towards one thing. I've learned how to do a lot of different things. Like, let's put it in perspective. I'm Christian, and my focus has always been like, oh, read this, read that. Never really learning. I even went to a Bible college and I haven't learned that much. So it's more about how I'm perceiving things and how I'm learning things. And I want to make a focus on one, God, and two, Minecraft and YouTube. And if I can work on myself in growing in these two aspects, like these are two of like the biggest things in my life that I haven't give the proper time to. I started with Minecraft playing peaceful mode. I think I started the same way with God, thinking, oh, it's simple. I'm saved. I don't have to worry about it. I don't need to do anything hard. I don't need to make decisions. And that's how I've lived my life. And ultimately that's hurt me and it stunted my growth. I could be so much more in a lot of areas, but I allow my attention to get drawn away from it. So that is the main reason of starting this uh, series. It's going along with me starting to read the Bible more and doing it daily, following along up to Leviticus. Oh, that's going to be a hard one. But it's about that. It's about growing where I'm at and understanding why. So with Minecraft, I started on 1.2 point I think 5 with a friend of mine. I played peaceful all the time. Great. I didn't learn any of the redstone. I didn't learn any building techniques. I dug myself a hole or let a creeper blow one up for me. And that's how I played the game. And that's why I feel that I keep burning out is because I don't know how to move forward. I don't know how to experiment with the game. It's odd because this is such an experimental game, yet I never had to do that. I always had the wiki, I always had friends, I always had YouTube. So the hope with this series is I'm going to grow while I'm also growing with God. Um yeah. It's kind of hard to say. My focus has always been torn. So that is the main reason of this series is so I can grow and understand from let's say the beginning, let there be light, uh to each integral part of the game. Now, of course, we're not going through the game every single update. That would take years. But it's what we're starting at. And hopefully by the end of this, I'm going to be able to get back to our original Let's Play and be able to focus on builds and content creating the way I've never been able to before. Because I'd love for YouTube to be a good side job. I don't think it could ever be 100% my life because it takes up so much time, and I'm not willing to do that to my wife, let alone God. Yeah, I think that's the right direction of that. But I want it to be an integral part of my life because it is something that I enjoy. So let's go and find out those results of the gathering, which was not too hot as I remember. So, yeah. And here we go. After 30 minutes, not as much as I hoped. Only 42 iron, 14 diamond, and a bunch of redstone, and no lappies. We have some coal, flint. Oh, what else? No emerald. So, I have decided that 30 minutes is not long enough, but we're going to do another 30 minutes, maybe an hour. We'll kind of see from there. And instead, I'm going to look for caves and see if that gives me a better payout. Alright, as we get going looking for more ores and caves, I guess, we're going to talk about 1.3, the update that we're in. The version we're in? Yes, both. Nonetheless, where are we going to go with this? So, generally, it added trading, adventure mode, jungle temples, desert temples, new block items, which would include emeralds, tripwire, which will help with chest monsters, creating them, of course, not saving them, and ender chests. It also improved the enchanting and apparently increase the difficulty of creepers, which I have noticed. So, for us to focus, that's the main reason that I came down here into the mines is lapis and diamond and obsidian, which we already have, so we can enchant. So next episode, I know for certain we are going to work with enchanting. Now, I'll probably have the cows, I'm probably going to have the bookshelves, but that means we need to get the levels. Because if I remember correctly, enchanting is not easy. No, not even close. You have to have, I think, 50 levels, to be honest. It might be 30. I honestly don't remember. We will find out when we get there, and it will use up all of the levels we have. Which means we need to figure out what to do. How are we going to get these levels? A very simple answer is later on we're going to find a very certain structure that has a lot, I mean a lot of spawners in it. And we're going to probably utilize that next episode too. So we're going to focus on getting an enchanting table and enchanting setup. So that's going to be a new building. And then we're going to focus on making sure we can keep up with enchanting. I honestly don't know how much spawners give, and I mean like what they're spawning. So it might take a while, but it will be better than nothing. With that, we'll also need to find villagers and trade with them, see the very different mechanics there. I'd love to play with them and figure out how they breed. I'm fairly certain in this version it's doors. So that might be very interesting. So that might take a lot of doors. And hopefully that means iron golem too. But I don't know their nuances on how they interact with people. So if it's going to be tough, we'll find out. But yeah, I think that's the main ones that we want to hit. And then of course the end. And maybe brewing. And maybe golden apple searching. Okay, maybe we're doing a lot. It's 1.3. There's still a lot to do. As much as the lava looks lovely. I forgot to mention that is a difference in this. The lava texture is very different, but it's very, very pretty. I don't know if I prefer this version or the new version, but I think there's a lot of nostalgia that comes into it. So I'm I'm partial to like old versions textures. So who knows? Maybe we'll find a pack that will make the old textures come alive. Alright guys, here we are, the grand total. This is what we have obtained in this hour-long focus. I'm seeing that finding caves and following them along was probably the best thing to do. So it's like you hear water and then you follow it. So yeah, this was our loot that we've taken. Grab the important stuff. Ooh. What's most important? Gravel. Over flint. Let's grab some dirt, potentially. We'll be back later for whatever else. Maybe. It is just stone and stuff that we can make. But yeah, let's head back to the house. And there we go. That is beautifully humorous. Think I need a redstone box. I guess we'll run this while I'm away. But that would be the video, guys. Oh, wait. Goodness. Losing my mind slowly at a time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Toss it to the ground, apparently. I can't. That is the biggest difference in this game, is I can't slide it. So you actually have to click them one by one. Now I understand why other YouTubers do that, especially the old guys. But here we go. Enchantment time. There we go. Pick up those. And that is where we're going to leave it. With an enchanting table in my hand. We have already experienced so much in 1.3. Yeah. We've seen how different the generation of ores is. I actually feel like it was harder to get ores now than it has been. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I really thought it was going to be extremely easy. Now, there are the arguments that, and I mean the actual, like, technology arguments within the code, which prohibit the, not prohibit, but limit the ores that generate around open air structures in the newer versions versus the old ones. So that is a big difference because they still want you to mine a bit, but hey, I think it's still easier ultimately, minus the deep slate, let's be honest. But I'm getting sidetracked. We've done so much. The barn will be done by the time we get back. Ores will be smelted, and I'll be focusing on getting enchanting set up for us before we come back. And we will have an adventure in itself for the next time. And I think it's going to have to do with some villagers of ours. Well, not of ours. Hopefully we'll find some villagers. But without further ado, Snowy Steve, out.